Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Long throw, goalkeeper's come, hasn't got there. Harry Kewell, and then poked home by Tim Cahill. Australia have done it! 6 minutes to go, and it's a landmark moment for Australian football. Tim Cahill has scored the nation's first ever World Cup Finals goal.
You're listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Cambiasso. This is where Argentina can be very patient indeed. I've watched their youth teams do this. Just play the ball endlessly around the edge of their opponent's penalty area, then suddenly break with devastating consequences. Saviola, Cambiasso. Cambiasso! They've done it! They've done it! And scored a fantastic goal! How many passes did they put together there? You'd need a calculator.
FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Western United, can they find something here? Big chance, Berisha! He's done it again! And it's a goal! Unbelievable! What about this? Dylan Farias, his first touch of the game. Sanchez! Western United do claim the 3 points. And Diamante again! Oh, he's done it! Twice! He's chipped a keeper!
Presented by Simonds. It's The Green Room on FNR, Football Nation Radio. It was a banner week for the club. A massive, massive weekend in Victorian football for all Western United affiliated teams. The senior men drawing 2-2 with a last-minute penalty save thanks to Jamie Young in Ballarat. A heart-stopping contest. The Calder United side opening with a 0-0 draw against one of their title rivals in Box Hill. And the MPL 3 side winning in the last minute against Melbourne City. And we've got representatives from all 3 teams on the show today to discuss it. This is The Green Room on FNR, presented by Simonds Homes, the great Australian builder. I'm Josh Parrish. I've got Lockie Flanagan along with me as always. How are you, Lockie?
I'm excellent. I think this might even be a show first that we cover the club at every single level in which it exists in a single episode. Obviously, we go through all of them over the course of the show, but to fit it all into 1 hour-long program, this feels like almost like a condensed, Western United for dummies. No one's a dummy, obviously, on the stream, just to be clear, not insulting you. But, it's a condensed version. That's going to be great. But you know what's on my mind even more than what we're about to speak about, who we're about to speak to, Josh, is I'm wondering whether or not any of the, because we mentioned this in the show last week, whether any of those Western United fans out there did manage to get to all 3 of the games on the weekend.
That's what we want to know. If you did,
if you are out there,
get in the comment section. Let us know if you manage to make it to all 3 games. We want photographic evidence. We want proof. Tweet it at us.
And if so, we want you on the show.
Absolutely. You'll be next week's guest. That offer still standing. Steve Lustica is our first guest to talk about the men's side. Steve, how are you? Thanks for joining us once again on the Green Room.
Yeah, well, good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
It was a heart-stopping game for the spectators in Ballarat over the weekend. What about for the players, mate? It was pretty dramatic.
Yeah, it was, to be honest. Obviously, there was a bit of late drama there at the end, and obviously Youngie pulled off that save at the end. But look, overall, we were obviously a bit disappointed that that's a game that we're hoping to get the 3 points. We did come back from behind, which was a positive. I thought we started the game a bit slow. We conceded that early goal, but the positive was that we came back in the second half. We went up 2-1, and then obviously we conceded that goal and that late drama at the end. So look, all in all, we've got to be happy with the point.
What was going through your mind as you watched Jason Cummings line up for that spot kick? Did you have confidence in Youngie to pull off the save?
Yeah, look, Youngie's been fantastic for us all season. He obviously stood up in the right moment there, right at the death, and saved it for us. So, that was, obviously great from Youngie. And like I said, he's been fantastic all season. So, overall, look, obviously, like I said, it was a bit disappointing for us not to get the 3 points in the end. But, we move on to next game.
Well, was there a little small part of you, and maybe you don't want to give Jamie too much credit, but just kind of had that sixth sense that he was going to save it? Because I've got to say, watching that in real time, I don't think I've ever seen a keeper save a penalty quite as comfortably as Youngie saved that penalty. Like it almost looked easy for him. It's like he knew where it was going beforehand. Did you almost have a sixth sense as you were standing on the line that I reckon he's going to save this?
Yeah, look, like I said, we've got full confidence in Youngie. He's pulled off so many saves for us this season, and I can't recall that we've conceded too many penalties as well. So, he stepped up at the right moment, saved it, and of course, Youngie's been fantastic. And like I said, it was a great save. Yeah.
You had your regular central midfield partner back in the side in Neil Kilkenny. How is it to have him back?
Yeah, fantastic. Kilkenny's been, fantastic for us all season. To play with him, it's so easy at times because he understands the game so well. He's such an intelligent footballer as well. So to have him, next to midfield always makes it easier. So we're very happy that that he's back playing.
And one of the other players that's been joining you in that midfield 3 area, of course, in the absence of Alessandro Diamanti, is Lockheed Wales, who's not someone that we have traditionally known as a 10. He's been more of a wide player or a central striker. How do you find working in with him, making up that midfield 3?
Yeah, look, Lockheed's been fantastic as well in the attacking third as well. So, he can obviously play out wide. He can play as a 10. He can play as a striker. So, in that attacking area, he's got a lot of speed and he understands the game well as well. So, if he's playing as a 10 or as a winger, he understands his role. He can play all those positions up front. So, he did really well on the weekend and obviously had that great assist for Prijovic. So, Lockheed's been playing very well.
Well, actually, I'm glad you brought up Alex Prijovic because this was almost, as someone who enjoys a bit of not just football discussion, but discussion about football sartorial and the fashion of football, I was very, very impressed by Alex Prijovic, almost like hitman get up with the long sleeves and the gloves as well. What did you make of that? Because gloves, I think in Australian football, gloves can be a bit of a controversial thing at the local level. Were there any comments come up?
I'm not going to lie. There was a few eyebrows raised when you put them on right before the game. Because like you said, we don't really wear gloves in Australia, do we? It doesn't get that cold. I mean, he's played in some hot places around the world. He's played in Saudi and, he's played in Greece, obviously. I'm pretty sure it gets pretty cold there, but not, it wasn't that cold in Ballarat, but that's, like I said, there was a few question marks there when he put them on, but yeah, if he's comfortable in them, that's his thing. Yeah.
I suppose if he's scoring goals, it doesn't really matter too much to you as a teammate, whether he's wearing gloves or not.
Nah, 100%. If he's scoring for us, he can wear whatever he wants. So no problem there.
He's hardly taking the throw-ins, so it doesn't really matter.
No,
but
true.
football takes you many places, hot and cold. So.
Well, I just do remember thinking, as impressed as I was, exactly as Steve said, it is cold in Ballarat, but it's Is it that cold? Is it glove cold? I'm not sure.
From
is
Europe.
it ever glove cold in Victoria? I'm not sure.
He's been in Greece and Saudi Arabia, so he's probably not used to the Ballarat chill.
Yeah, no, comparatively
maybe that's
speaking.
a good nickname you've come up with, Lockie, the hitman, because he's clinical in front of goal.
Unless Steve he has another nickname that's better within the club that we don't know about.
Well, I've heard the Hitman, to be honest. That's a good one. We might throw that one around the change room tomorrow training and see what the boys think.
Perfect. I'd rather you guys break it in for me.
Does suit him, that one. I don't mind that one, to be honest.
Love it. So who is the one who comes up with the nicknames at training? Is there someone usually coining them?
Look, there's a few jokers in the room. Lockheed Wales comes to mind. He doesn't mind a few jokes here and there. So if I had to say someone, it'd be Lockheed Wales. He's usually front and centre with all the different banter going around.
Do you have one that's stuck in the Western United changing room?
In terms of like a
nickname?
Nickname? Wednesdays. You know Wednesdays is? Wednesday.
Wenzel Halls?
Yeah, that one comes to mind. Yeah. Because we've got two Dylans in the team. So we've got Dylan Parias and Dylan Wenzel Hall. So everyone's saying Dylan, and then we didn't know which one. So we call Wenzel Halls Wednesdays.
That makes sense. I was wondering, knowing Dylan Wenzel Hall's notoriety amongst the playing group for being a good talker and being able to get under people's skin, especially his opposition teammates. I thought he maybe might have had a nickname to be less charitable, but
maybe not one appropriate for the airwaves.
Wednesdays is probably a good one to leave. I remember.
There's a few for him, but probably not suitable for the green.
Yeah, it's a G show. That's a great point. Well, someone who did have quite a bit to say about Dylan Wenzel Halls last week was, of course, Nikolai Topor-Stanley, and we all know the milestone that he was able to achieve over the weekend, breaking that A-League men's all-time games record. I mean, what was it like for you as a player to sort of stand alongside someone like Nikolai and experience that moment with him as well?
Yeah, look, Topper's, he's had a fantastic career throughout the A-League, and, obviously now he's broken the record, and, all credit to him. I mean, he's the ultimate professional. He's such a leader amongst the boys in the dressing room, and, he's the perfect guy to hold that record, basically. So, I'm sure there's many more games to come from him as well.
I bet there is, because, we were chatting to him. It doesn't seem like the end's in sight. He's very, very down to earth. Like we were lauding his, professionalism and so forth. And he's like, I picked up things here and there. He's an incredibly modest character, right?
Yeah, no, he is. He's very modest. He's very humble, and he's very well liked amongst the playing group as well in the change room. So, like I said, all credit to Topper. I've played with him. This is the second club I've been with him at now, and like I said, I can see him going on. He's still super fit. He's still fast. He looks after his body really well, and he could go on for another few seasons, I think.
Obviously, Steve, you've got plenty of experience yourself. You're not one of those sort of younger players that you mentioned that needs to be sort of taking Nikolai Topor-Stanley's every word, that comes out of his mouth. But do you find that he is a kind of player that even you yourself, having experienced what you have, you're still picking up little things from him here and there? Because he kind of seems like a player's player.
Mm.
Yeah, 100%. Even like, Neil Kilkenny, Diamante, you got Topper there. Last year was it like Durante. These experienced players, you can learn so much from them, just for them being at that level for that many years, and that consistency, even when they get to those, late 30s, and they're still coming to training every day. They have those high standards. Definitely you can learn from that. Me as well, and obviously for the younger guys as well, 100%.
Oh, you mentioned Diamante in that list of people to learn from, and he's certainly someone who you've been able to do plenty of listening to off the pitch recently. Obviously, he's not available to take the field at the moment through injury, but we have seen him quite a lot featuring behind the behind the coaching staff, behind John Aloisi, sort of being very emotive in terms of what's happening on the pitch, and no doubt yelling plenty of instructions. Can you hear him over the yells of John and Hayden Fox on the touchline?
you can always hear Dia. I mean, he's always, you know, obviously at the game, you saw him on the sidelines there on the bench, you know, getting up, screaming instructions out to the boys and, you know, just motivating the boys basically. Same at training, you know, he hasn't been training obviously the last couple of weeks, but he's there every day. He's watching training. He's with the boys. He's in the change room. So with Diamante as well, you know, he's just football mad, you know, he's that passionate about the club, about football in general, and he just wants to help. So he's another one that's been a big factor for us.
What about some of the young boys who are starting to come into the picture? I mean, we've heard big raps for Adisu Bayu in recent weeks.
Yeah, look, so obviously we've got a lot of good youngsters coming through. You know, you can look through the NPL team as well. They've been Melbourne City on the weekend, and there's a lot of quality young players coming through there as well. So, you know, the future is definitely bright for Western United in terms of young players. It's just about for them waiting for their chance and making sure, you know, they come in every day prepared to work hard to improve, and when that chance does come, that they're ready to grab it, because it's not easy as well. I was in that position as well. You know, a long time ago now, but you know, I was a young player as well, trying to break in and get minutes, and it wasn't easy back then, and it's no different now as well. So you know, they've got to bide their time, they've got to keep working hard, and their time will come, and you know, they've got to be ready when it does come.
And in terms of those NPL guys, I don't know if you've had a chance to watch much of the team so far or see many of those guys in training, but is there anyone who's stood out to you in recent weeks as they've started their campaign?
Look, yeah, like I said, there's a lot of players there. You know, one that I've seen, he trains with us regularly, is Reese Posinowski. He's one definitely to look out for. You know, I think he's got a lot of potential, and he's one that's definitely caught my eye.
Absolutely. What is it about Reese? What does he bring to the table if people haven't seen him play?
Yeah, he's an all-round type of midfielder. You know, he can play, you know, as a holder, as an attacking midfielder, as a 10, as an 8. You know, he's very comfortable on the ball. He's pretty small for his you know, he's not a big player, but he uses his body well. He's very intelligent with how he uses the ball. And, you know, he's only just turned 18 as well. So definitely, you know, a good future ahead for him if he continues to, you know, work hard and improve.
Do you see yourself in him at all? It seems like you got a few similar qualities from your description.
What was that? Sorry, I missed that.
Do you see yourself in Reese at all? You know, younger version.
Yeah, I performed to him. You know, play a similar position to me. You know, I mean, he's caught my eye. You know, since I remember watching him when he was training with the NPL team last season. He wasn't even training with us, and I used to watch their trainings in the morning, and he always stood out to me. And now he's been training with us full time, and definitely one that has caught my eye.
On the topic of promising youngsters, Steve, we know that that's something you're really passionate about, both internally and externally to the club. And I'm going to do something here that a lot of people say you shouldn't always do, which is bring off-air conversations into the public forum. But I'm going to do it. I'm doing it for good reason, and it's because I've had the pleasure of citing you, albeit from a distance, at a few NPL Victoria games this season where you've been, you know, paying attention to some younger players that you've been working with. How do you find the balance of working with those players amongst a weekend?
Yeah, look, obviously now it's a little bit difficult with the season and our training schedule at the moment, but you know, there's a number of players there that I've worked with that I keep an eye on in the NPL set up there. So I do like to, when I do get a chance, I like to get out to games and keep an eye on some of these boys. Like I said, it's also now you can't get out to the games, you can watch the games online as well, which is a big help. So yeah, I enjoy it. You know, when I do have spare time, I do enjoy getting out to some of the games and seeing the talent out there, because there is a lot of untapped talent, you know, untapped talent out in the NPL that, you know, unfortunately they don't get an opportunity. So, you know, hopefully in the years to come, you know, we see these boys step up into the A-League.
Absolutely. Last few weeks for the squad, since we last spoke to you, what's been the message from the coaching staff? Obviously, every team's going through this heavy run of games, and pretty much it's a full-on sprint until the end of the season. So, you know, we've seen in the A-League a little bit of inconsistency with a lot of teams. What's been the message to try and keep that consistency level from the coaching staff?
Yeah, basically stick to what we've been doing all season, which is, you know, obviously working hard, sticking to our structures that we've been, working on since day one. It's been working for us all season, and, we've been growing throughout the season as well and getting better. And, we've obviously faced a lot of challenges as well, different venues. Obviously everyone's faced the COVID situation as well. Injuries hasn't helped as well, but we've put all that aside and just focused on the playing group that's there to play. We know we've got good players there. We've got a coaching staff there that give us so much information, go into so much detail before the game. So we're well prepared going to games, and we know what to expect. So it's the same. Every game is going to be difficult, like it is in the A League, and now it's I think there's 6 games to go, and we're going to give it a good crack.
Playing at a variety of venues is something that's just, been something that you've had to work in throughout the season, as you've mentioned. And you'll be adding another exciting one to the list this week in Ballarat, taking on Wellington Phoenix at the Ballarat Regional Soccer Facility. Obviously, we know that it's been a difficult couple of weeks for Wellington, dealing with a lot of outs, suffering a couple of defeats. How do you approach a game like that as a squad? Obviously, a team that's suffered, 2 significant losses, maybe when you're at the top of the table, it'd be easy to think, this is a great chance to grab 3 points. But obviously, you've also got to guard against complacency on the other hand. So how do you look at an approach a fixture like this?
Yeah, to be honest, it would be no different the way we would approach it if they won 3 or 4-0 the last couple of games. It would be the same. We do an analysis on the opposition. We do our own analysis, and we play our own game. So, like I said, it doesn't make a difference. If they've won the last games or they've lost. For us, it's always the same. So, we're going to go in with a clear mind and knowing what we need to do to get the job done.
Go for it, Josh.
All right, I was going to ask, in your career, you've obviously been on a lot of successful teams. I imagine you've been through some difficult times and difficult spells as well. And Wellington having lost, 5 and 6-0 in their last 2 games. Is there a danger approaching, I guess, what you call a wounded animal, a team that's really hurting and looking to make it right?
Yeah, of course, they're going to want to bounce back as well. So, they've had 2 big defeats now, and 100% they're going to be up for it. They're going to want to bounce back with a positive result. So they're going to be ready. We're going to be ready. I mean, like I said, nothing changes for us. We're going to approach the game like any other game as well. So, we've got a few more sessions until the game on Saturday. And, we're obviously looking forward to getting out to Ballarat again.
Absolutely. Well, Steve, thank you so much for joining us and giving us a bit of an insight into the first team group at the moment. Back in Ballarat, this time at Moorshead Park against Wellington Phoenix. It's a 2:05 p.m. kickoff on Saturday afternoon. All the best for the game and for the rest of the season, mate.
No worries. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
With that, we will take a short break here on the Green Room on FNR and be back with more. We've got a young gun joining us next who scored 3 goals in his first 3 NPL Victoria games. Najdovski joining us on the other side.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website, dkpco.com.au, or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Messi. Oh, brilliant skill from Lionel Messi. Surging forward with real menace here. Brilliant from Messi. Oh, what a goal that is! And the whole of this ground stands and applauds the 19-year-old. Have you seen a better goal
You're listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website dkpco.com.au or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
This could be the most dramatic story of the season. It's Torres to give a place in the Champions League final. The headline has been written. Unbelievable! Unbelievable!
You're listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Western United, can they find something here? Big chance, Barissa! He's done it again! And it's a goal! Unbelievable! What about this? Dylan Barrios! His first touch of the game! Sanchez! Western United do claim the 3 points! And Diamante again! Oh, he's done it! Twice! He's chipped a keeper!
Presented by Simonds. It's The Green Room on FNR, Football Nation Radio. There are few better feelings in football than scoring a last-minute winner. But that's exactly what our next guest experienced over the weekend. 92nd minute against Melbourne City in an A-League NPL 3 derby. And what does he do? Puts it away, sends the bench into raptures and sends Western United home with the 3 points, 2-1. Jake Najdovski is our guest. Jake, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, guys.
It's our absolute pleasure, mate. Tell us a little bit about yourself, first of all, and how you got into football first and then how you got to Western United.
Yeah, well, I started playing footy when I was young. I played Auskick. My dad enrolled me. And then from there, primary school, just always playing soccer. All my mates loved soccer. And then sort of fell in love with the sport. And then started juniors at Spring Hills, a local club. It's close by to Georgie's where we train now. And from there went into NPL at Hume City. Had a year at Melbourne Victory in the development squad. And then from there got picked up by one of my school coaches to go to Melbourne City. Had a couple of years there. And then my last year, Anthony Frost coached me. And then moved over to Western under 21s through Vaughan Coveney.
Well, I'm going to get back to that, obviously that previous stint working under Anthony at a different club, one who you may or may not have scored against this weekend. But I want to go back to the actual, dig a little bit deeper into that actual journey through, because you've given us an overview. And obviously I think a lot of young players, I think, have got that story of being claimed by Auskick very early doors. They like to get their claws into you, really.
We got one back.
Footy at the early level. It's always great to get one back. But obviously your journey into the game at the level you are has come from being genuinely passionate about the sport and enjoying playing with your mates. At what point did it go from just something that you were having fun doing, with your mates to, oh, this is actually quite serious. I'd actually quite like to, take this seriously, become a professional. When did that sort of goal and mindset shift for you? Was there a specific moment?
I don't feel like there was a moment where, that sort of happened. I feel like it gradually, got stronger as I started to love the sport more. But I feel like when I went to Melbourne Victory in that development squad is when it started getting serious because, it's a big club. It's an A-League club. So I thought, I've got a good chance here. Why not give it a crack?
Absolutely. And scoring against your former side must have been sweet on the weekend. Let's go through. Let's capture the moment. What was going through your mind as the ball was cut back to you in the box?
I was gassed. We had a big game. It was intense. And the ball sort of, bobbled out to me. It was a good ball by Seba. And then I just gave it everything I had, whacked it, found a corner and took a bit of deflection. But as soon as the ball nestled in, we just, it was wild scenes. We went crazy and it was a great moment.
How did you manage? Obviously, we've seen the video footage of you celebrating afterwards. What was going through your mind internally? Because, it's a hard thing to score against a club that you used to play for. Because, obviously, especially in the 90th minute, we've seen some players, over the years, throw up the hands. We've seen others run down to the opposition fans and do a big old knee slide. What was going through your mind in that moment?
I said to my dad, I said to him at the start of the game that if I was to score, that I wouldn't celebrate. but the emotions got to me. It was 92nd minute, and I couldn't hold back. I just sprinted straight to. We had a bit of fans, and we had some fans on the side there, so I went straight to them, and I was going for a knee slide, but last second I pulled out and just slid on my back. And next thing I know, there was about 5-6 bodies on me, so it was amazing.
Well, I think you made the right choice, mate. You want to celebrate those moments. Only thing is, you made yourself a target going prone on the deck.
Of course.
Absolutely. So if people haven't seen you play before, how would you describe your game? First off, what position do you play and what kind of a style of player are you?
Yeah. Well, I'm a striker. It's my preferred position. It's where I play most. But I can play anywhere really in the front line, left wing, right wing. As a 10, I played 10 on the weekend, first half, and then went to striker. So position-wise, anywhere really attacking. But the characteristics I have, I guess, I'm passionate, I'm confident, and I'm a finisher. I love to score goals. So that's why I'm a striker, I guess, and it's what I do best.
Well, I mean, you describe yourself as a finisher, and I don't think anything proves that more than 3 goals in your opening 3 games. I mean, especially considering, having to miss a bit of that season last year, obviously. You must be absolutely rapt to hit the ground running in the way that you have.
Yeah, it's always good. You aim to start the season strong as a striker because you want to be flowing with confidence. You want to be having a good run of form, and I'm thankful to have these first 3 rounds. So it's good to start the season with confidence and some goals to add to it. Absolutely.
And what kind of feedback have you been getting from Anthony Frost? You got a prior relationship with him from Melbourne City.
Frosty's really good, because you can have a chat with him for whatever you want, and he's really good on the tactical side of the game. So he's been working with me all pre-season with that sort of stuff, and the jump from 21s into the seniors. He's been helping me with, bigger bodies and stuff like that. So it's good to have him as a mentor again, and he's given all the boys belief and confidence into the season because we want to be aiming for promotion like last year.
What do you think is the biggest lesson you've learned from Anthony? Because obviously he's had a big impact on you, coming across from one club to another with him. Is it just that sort of physical side helping you to, build up the body a little bit more, or what is it?
Confidence. He's told me as a striker, you need confidence, because if as a striker, if you don't have confidence, then you don't believe in yourself, you're not going to score goals and stuff like that. So that's one thing I've taken from pre-season. I've taken it straight into round 1, to have the confidence, to have the belief in myself that, I can put the ball in the net. And so far it's worked out all right.
Absolutely. We saw your teammate Sabit James score on the weekend as well. Fantastic goal. What kind of a relationship have you developed with him on and off the pitch?
Yeah, I mean, we have good banter off the pitch. This is my first year I've played with him, but when it comes to getting serious and the game day, he gets serious, so it's good. And we've developed some good chemistry, like I said, through pre-season, and it's taken us straight into round one. And he's really the dream that a striker wants. You want a winger that's quick. He's a good dribbler, and he knows when to get the ball in the box. And from then, it's easy for me. I just got to put it away.
It's interesting that point you make about the sort of flicking of the switch between like being serious and having a joke and a laugh. Like you kind of need both to make a good team, and I think that the senior side would say the same thing. But like, how do you find that balance? Like, how do you manage to transition between those two modes as easily as you do? Is it just like you walk into the change room, Lose Yourself by Eminem is playing, I presume, and that's
I don't know if the kids listen to that anymore.
No, I'm sorry, I don't know music these days. 22, I've lost touch with the youth.
No, we get around Eminem.
That's a relief to know. But how do you transition from that serious mode or from the like fun into serious?
I feel like as a professional footballer now, as we all trying to aspire to be, when to flick the switch. You know when it's banter time, and when it's time to get serious. And game day is definitely one of those times to get serious. And I feel like it just comes naturally now for everyone. Everyone knows when it's time.
The other thing about your move, obviously, across to Western United, clearly, as we've mentioned, Anthony's had a big impact. But another thing that interests me about it is something you mentioned before, that, your junior club when you were playing at Spring Hills is obviously right around the corner from Georgie's. Is that, I guess what I'm driving at is that chance to play and represent a club, not just at junior level, but at senior level, who, represents the area that you're from, have you grown up at? Is that something that not just inspired your move, but also motivates you to take things as seriously as you do and play as well as you have?
Yeah, 100%. It's the area I've grown up in. All my mates live close by and stuff like that. So, it's the west of Melbourne. It's where I'm from, and I just want to score goals and play well for the team.
Well, we're delighted you've seen the light and come back home, mate. What about other football? Do you follow anyone in the Premier League? A little birdie tells me you might be a Liverpool fan.
Whoever's told you that's right, Liverpool fan, yeah.
Well, Jake, it's been lovely to have you on, but that's probably where we're going to have to leave it for the evening. Sorry.
No. Were you up watching the Champions League this morning?
No, I was my sleeping this morning, so I had to sleep in. But I'll be up Monday for Manchester City and Liverpool.
Fair enough. From the sounds of things, Jake, you've definitely earned a sleep in or two. I want to ask you a question that Josh always loves to ask young players in this program, but I'm going to steal it from him because it is a good one. Obviously, you're a Liverpool fan. You watch a lot of their games. Is there a particular player, and it doesn't have to be from Liverpool, it can be another club in another league that you watch, that you really take a lot of inspiration from yourself as an individual and like to model yourself off?
Yeah. I feel like I take bits from every sort of, different strikers and players around the world, and then try to put it in my own game. But if I was to pick one player that I've taken a lot of inspiration from, it'd probably be Luis Suarez, especially in his prime at Liverpool. He had a lot of good characteristics that a striker needs, and I've taken a lot of those and put them into my game.
And you could always bite a few chunks out of the opposition players if they're giving you a hard time.
Of course.
No, we don't condone that sort of thing, of course. No, I mean, Luis Suarez, he was the ultimate forward, of course, in those peak Liverpool years and at Barcelona as well. But he also had a habit of needling opposition defenders when the ball was up the other end of the pitch. Is that something you get into at all, or do you chat to the opposition centre-backs during games?
I have a little nibble, but not talking. Just talking, not biting.
That's very, very good answer.
Good answer.
Very good answer. So obviously you've started the season about as well as any young striker could hope to, and the team as well has been off to a flying start. What's your ambition and your aim for the remainder of the season? Is it just to keep the good times rolling, pretty much?
No, we'll definitely be going for promotion and to even win the league. As soon as Anthony Frost, came in as a senior coach, he was installing that into us, letting us know that we're not going to settle for anything else apart from promotion and coming first. So I feel like straight away from the team, round one, I feel like that's why we got to such a good start, because we all know what we're trying to do and what we're trying to accomplish by the end of the year.
And for you, as an individual, Jake, obviously the team is the focus, and any player will say that, regardless of whether it's true or not. But you've presumably got a number, a figure for goals and assists that maybe you set in a season, and you're already on track to maybe breaking that. Do you have to revise your goals at this point, or how do you look at things from an individual level in terms of what you want to achieve?
Individually, I probably go for 20 plus goals.
Whoa!
By the end of the season.
Look, you're off to a good start.
He's a confident young man. I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, clearly all the Anthony Frost confidence lessons have done enough for you, Jake.
Well, your next victim, Box Hill United on Friday night at Wembley Park. Always a good place to go and play. How have you been preparing for that one?
It's been a short turnaround because we played Sunday, and then we had Monday, which was just a recovery session. But Tuesday we got straight into things. We had a tactical session, analysis, and just preparing for Box Hill. And then Thursday, tomorrow we'll be doing the same, and then Friday game. So we prepared well. Everyone's doing the right things recovery-wise and preparation-wise, reviewing them. So we'll try to get to 3 points again.
Well, if anyone wants to get down, Friday night, 7:30 p.m. kickoff at Wembley Park in Box Hill. Cracking chicken souver over there as well. One of Lockheed Wales' favourite NPL destinations. So every reason for the fans to get around it, but also to go and watch young Jake Najdovski do his thing. Jake, thank you so much for joining us, and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
We're going to go to a short break. We've got the women on the other side. Calder United head coach Mark Torcaso is our next guest on the Green Room on FNR, presented by Simonds Homes, so stick around.
Since 1998, Lanco Group has been providing superior civil engineering solutions and advice to developers, local government and service authorities across Australia. Lanco Group is known for delivering sustainable, efficient solutions. By working closely with clients, Lanco Group is able to meet the complex infrastructure requirements for residential, commercial and industrial developments on time, on budget. Find out more at lancogroup.com.au. Lanco Group, your business partner for engineering solutions.
Are you looking to change your destiny in life? Be your own boss? Start your own business? If you are, you need people who understand your needs and are committed to helping you make it happen. At DKP & Co Chartered Accountants, we are more than just accountants. We are business advisors, taxation consultants, and strategists that specialise in setting up businesses. We understand the client and give them the very best customised advice and strategies to achieve their goals. Visit our website, dkpco.com.au, or give us a call today on 03 9023 9370. Fast, proactive, personal. That's DKP & Co Chartered Accountants.
Radford. Now Tudor's gone down for Newcastle. Radford again. Oh, what a goal! What a goal! Radford the scorer. Ronnie Radford. And the crowd are invading the pitch. And now it will take some time to clear the field. What a tremendous shot by Radford.
You're listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
They try to open up the Dutch via another route. Iniesta's in the middle all alone. If Fernando Torres can find him, it's stabbed away uncomfortably to Fabregas. Surely now, Spain have won the World Cup for the first time in history. Andres Iniesta has broken Dutch hearts.
You're listening to FNR, Football Nation Radio.
Again, oh, he's done it twice!
Simonds. It's The Green Room on FNR, Football Nation Radio. Covering all bases today, touching on all aspects of the club, all three teams covered. That was our promise at the start of the episode, and we are fulfilling it with our next guest. We've talked about the senior men, we've talked about the NPL3 juniors, and now it's time to talk about Western United's women's affiliated team, which is Calder United, of course, in NPLW. And we've got Mark Torcaso, the head coach, on to discuss their start to the season and their campaign to come. Mark, welcome to the show.
Guys, how are we?
We're doing great, mates. How are you? Joining us from your car, which is commitment. Absolutely appreciate your time.
You don't want to know why I'm in the car. It was a father-in-law's dinner, so I had to go to that and I had to escape that. So it's not a bad thing, to be honest.
Well, enjoy your brief recess from.
I was about to say I respect your commitment to the cause and coming on the show, and then you're like, well, I kind of want to get it out of the dinner. So there we go. That's all good. I appreciate it.
The wife was not happy, but who cares?
Mark, well, that's okay. That's okay. You're here with us now, and that's the most important thing. In fact, even more important than that is the fact that you got to kick off the NPLW season over the weekend. It might not have been the exact result you wanted, of course, a 0-0 draw against Box Hill, but there were definitely chances to win that game and take the 3 points. Maybe it was just one of those games where on another day the result might have been different. But how did you see it?
Listen, I thought we did quite well, to be honest, and we've always, for some reason, ever since Calder's sort of been around since 2016, we've always struggled to play at Box Hill's ground. It's quite an awkward, small, tight little ground, and we have suffered a couple of losses, to be quite honest, at that venue previously. So it's not a place that we've always liked to go and play. But saying that, I thought we controlled the game pretty well, and we probably should have won it in the end. We actually didn't make any subs because of the type of game that it was. But listen, I was happy with the point in the end just because of the history of the place and the loss that we've had previously.
Yeah, and Box Hill have recruited pretty aggressively this season as well. So decent opposition you were coming up against. You felt you had the better of the 90 minutes?
Yeah, I think we controlled it. That was the most important thing for me, is that we controlled pretty much the whole game. I don't think Alyssa, our goalkeeper, had to make probably maybe one save for the whole game. And I think we put enough pressure on them probably to win the game in the end. But as I said, we came away from there happy because we know that they have recruited well and they will be a pretty dangerous side, I think, this year. So I'll take a point on a Friday night at Box Hill pretty much any day, to be honest.
And was that similar to the message you were giving to the team at full time, just a different day, a different venue, maybe even that result would be a different thing, and it's a long season? What was the message?
Yeah, pretty much. I'm a sore loser, so I take a draw at the loss. So I try and keep myself composed in those scenarios because I don't want them to see that I'm annoyed. But no, it was pretty much that. It was, we sort of also took into the fact that it was our first proper game of the year. So we got a lot to build on, and obviously we've got a full season, and that's what we focused on. We said we've still got 20 games left with finals, hopefully. So it was one game for us, and it was a good start. We were happy with it.
And one of the big impacts and one of the big differences this season, of course, is that involvement with Western United, the enhanced sort of benefits to the training and being linked in with that group. How do you feel that's going to impact and benefit you over the course of this NPLW season?
I think it would have a lot of positive effects on the situation because the girls will train, obviously, one extra session with Western United in the academy. Obviously, I think it's about 90% of our Calder senior side are in the Western United academy. So having that extra training session, I think, only advances them and prepares them better for this level. The disadvantages are obviously as well, like, for example, the weekend that we head over to Tassie with the Western United academy group. That same week, we've actually got bullying in the NPL the night before, and we've got actually Essendon Royals in the Cup 5 days before. So we're potentially playing. Some girls might be playing 3 games in a matter of 7 days. So they're the disadvantages, but I try and just look at all the positives of the scenario and just think that this is a fantastic thing for women's football and obviously for our preparation in regards to an A-League women's side.
Absolutely. And are those the kind of discussions that have been going on with the club about the plans for the future?
Yeah, I mean, between both clubs, we're very obviously ambitious. Obviously, having a CEO like Chris, mate, he's a very ambitious person. So we're very ambitious as well. We're on that journey. So for us, it's just a matter of connecting those dots in the short term in regards to preparation of players, being ready basically when they say you're in and you're ready to go. That's my goal with Calder, is making sure that we've got those dots connected. So when we're called upon and we're ready to go, that we are, and I think that we will be.
Well, with respect to connecting those short-term dots, Mark, how do you look ahead at this NPLW season? Obviously, Calder in years gone by and completed seasons gone by have been a real standout team, but obviously we saw Bulleen and South, play out their game over the weekend. Bulleen getting a win there. South looking like a pretty strong side in pre-season. How do you find Calder fitting into all that in the year to come?
Yeah, I think for us, we set the foundations very early in the club's. When we started, obviously in 2016. So for us, it was about building the club from the start and having a really good name and having that success on the park, and we established that. I think we're probably one of the most successful clubs in Victoria, probably in its history, in regards to the amount of trophies we won in such a short time. So our tune sort of shifted this year, and it shifted towards the progression and development of our own players, obviously to then feed into the Western United program. So we've sort of changed our I guess, philosophy in regards to where we want to be as a club and as Calder. And, we were able to elevate, I think, 7 or 8 players from our under-19s into our senior side this year. And our goal is to give them, as much exposure as possible while we've still got some strong senior players. So for us, it's all about that, I guess, that progression and that, that getting ready, I guess, for the next stage. And that's how I look at it. I'm not looking at it as if, obviously, like I said, I'm a sore loser. We want to win every single game. But for us, it's about preparing players for the next level. And if that comes at at some games at a loss, then it does. But for us, it's more about the preparation of the players and putting them in scenarios that they've never been before to prepare them for that next level.
I mean, that's the dream, right? To have that pipeline of players from the West coming through and being prepared to elevate themselves to professional level. How have those players that you've promoted this season taken to the senior group?
It's been excellent. Like, we had a lot of preseason games where we had to utilise those young girls a lot, because obviously our senior players, some of them were still in W League commitments with Victory and City. So that was a chance to give some of those young girls a lot of exposure in those games. And obviously now in the first couple of games also, because we don't get access to those W League girls, until the next week or two. So they've adjusted really well, and you can actually see the difference in their progression. Some of these girls have excelled, and it's so amazing to see, because we've got girls in our senior side that have been at our club ever since they were 13, 14 years old. So to see them, as 18, 19-year-olds now playing in our senior side and hopefully knocking on the door in the next year or two with our W League team with Western, that's results for me. That's how I'm looking at this year. Our results are probably more based around player and the player and that preparation. That's where I'm looking at results. So yes, I want the points as much as we can, and we want to win Nike FC Cups and all that type of thing, but I'm probably basing our results more on that player development.
And with that in mind, and with the recent success of players coming through as well at the forefront, you must have been very pleased to see the way the under-19 side started their season this weekend with a 6-2 win. I imagine you keep quite a close eye on them.
Yeah, definitely. It was also an opportunity, like part of the plan with the young senior girls that we've got in our senior squad, is to give them some exposure in the under-19s when they don't play regularly in the seniors. So we were able to put 2 or 3 of those girls in that side over the weekend. And believe it or not, the game was 1-0 down. We were 1-0 down at half time. So we scored 6 in the second half, and those senior girls found their feet in the second half. And we've got an absolute ripper of a team in that 19 squad. We've got some 15-year-olds, 14, 15-year-olds that are in that side playing, under 19s, and we see those girls as a huge part of our future. And we are so excited by that under 19s team led by Josef on Courage. So, that's as much of our senior side as it is a 19 side. It's a huge part of our success.
I mean, Calder have been known for putting together some big scorelines in NPLW seasons gone by, but 6 in a single half when you're 1-0 down is a pretty remarkable feat.
Yeah, I might be worried. You might be chasing my job, that 19s coach, I reckon.
Absolutely. Cupping up against FV Emerging next week, which is sort of the state youth team, if people aren't familiar with it. There'll be an opportunity for a lot of young players to get some experience, and it should be a good game. They were excellent last season. What are you expecting this time around? Because I noticed they've had a lot of their best players from last year poached by other clubs.
Yeah, pretty much of the same of last year. I think they'll be a very competitive side for us, and you get that with sort of 16, 17, 18-year-old girls. They're enthusiastic. They want to prove themselves, and obviously they're part of a state team. So, we're expecting them to be a good side. Hopefully our experienced players that we've got in our side this weekend, get us over the line. But it's also a pretty special day for us because there's 2 girls playing for the emerging program that were actually juniors at our club, as 12s and 14-year-olds. So they're obviously in the state team now, and Ava Bridus and Caitlin Courage, it's a pretty special thing for us. Yes, they're playing on the opposition side, but they've promised me that they'll return one day to Calder or to Western. So that's enough for me to be happy.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. What a story. Speaking of your more experienced players, none more so than Alex Sinclair, who's gone round again this year. Absolutely incredible career that she's had in Victorian football. How do you sum her up?
Mate, she's the spirit, she's the heart, she's just everything to our club. And I've had the luxury of enjoying, her journey, especially this part. And I can't even explain what she means to our club and to the players. She's just well loved amongst the whole league. But she provides us with, believe it or not, a lot of youthful excitement. She just runs around like she's 20. So for us, there's no stopping Alex, and we constantly say to her, let's get you on a 5-year contract because we believe she's going to go forever. We love Alex, and unfortunately she sustained a little injury last week, so I'm not sure if she's up for selection this week. She hurt her ankle in the Box Hill game, so she's working through the week to hopefully get up for this week. So hopefully she'll be ready to go. But no, Alex is huge. She's such a special person to us.
Someone like Alex, is she a player that as a coach you almost feel like you don't have to give too much instruction to as an individual, because she just seems like the kind of player who has always got her head down and is just motoring along, like doing all the right things? Like, how do you manage a relationship with a player like that?
I think with Alex, I've got a pretty special relationship with her because we're not far in age, and I won't say that what my age is or what her age is, but we have our silly jokes in the change room sometimes before the game where every other player has no clue what we're even talking about because it's something from the 90s or something like that. It's just a song comes on and we're like, do you remember that song? And me and her look at each other and go, yeah, I remember that song, but everyone else has got no clue what we're on about. So we've got a pretty special relationship, me and Alex, but on that, I don't need to give too much to her, because she's been there and done that, and she knows my expectations as a coach, and I know her expectations as a captain. So don't get me wrong, sometimes I need to still give her some certain things to do, but more often than not, Alex, just like you said, motors ahead and does her job and carries everyone on her shoulders, with us, including the coaches. She's just a fantastic person.
I remember being there at Amy Park in 2019 when you lifted the title, and the emotional scenes with Alex afterwards are really, really special. And would you believe, still the reigning champions all these years later from that season. So we haven't quite got to a grand final in Victoria since then, which is almost unthinkable. But that was a pretty special day, and I often think back on it as one of the I guess more emotional days in Victorian football, seeing her lift the trophy.
Yeah, that day there was I put that down as probably my most memorable moment as a coach. because of how courageous that girl was for that day, to go out and do what she did. So, we often shed a tear, myself and Alex, when we have conversations about that day, because that was a pretty special moment. And it was actually brought to our attention again before the game at Box Hill that, and it was Alex that probably said it, that, we're still the reigning champions. We still own the Nike FC Cup. We still hold the grand final win. So, we'll hold that until someone takes it off us. And, it was a special day. It was definitely a special day, that one.
I'm sure that was a reference that the rest of the squad would have gotten. Unlike the songs in the movies that everyone definitely understood.
Everyone on the same page.
Everyone definitely was on the
Reigning
same page with the colder 2019 season.
Everyone remember that, because also, like I said, there's 8 under 19s in that team, and they also won it that year and basically went through flawless. So there's a winning mentality in that group, so they know how to win and they know how to play for each other. But that year was an absolute clean up for us, and there's girls in that room that definitely know how to win, which is great.
Maybe one final one for you, Mark, before we let you go. Obviously, you've talked a lot about the potential for development that this season brings and bringing more young players through the fold. What excites you most about the season ahead and this partnership with Western?
The most, I think, probably the most important thing for me and the most exciting for me is the end pathway. There's finally something for girls out west, and more importantly, in that west corridor where these girls can aspire to play at the highest level. And Alex is a perfect example. She's born and bred in the western suburbs, and people should be looking at that as it's never too late to have success or never too late to get to where you want to get to. And that partnership between Calder and Western has formed that. And for us, for me in particular, having been part of the journey from the start with Calder and now the whole connection with Western United, there is a very, very clear pathway for any young lady that wants to play football. And we are open to, everyone that wants to be part of that journey. And I'm sure you guys hear Chris always talking about that. It's a unique environment, and I actually believe that the other clubs, both A-League clubs and NPR clubs, are just wanting to be and do something like we're doing. So for me, it's just about the pathway. It is about a clear pathway for girls to get to the A-League and to be a Matilda or to play for their country or to do whatever. So that's for me is the most important part of that relationship. And obviously it's a huge thanks to Western and obviously the Calder committee, and for them to forge that link, because it's just provided opportunities for young ladies, which is most important.
Well, Mark, we could talk to you all night, but we've got to wrap the show and you've got to get back to your in-laws. So thank you so much for your insights tonight. It's been absolutely brilliant, and you just left us dreaming of an A-League women's debut for Alex Sinclair in a Western United jersey. Cannot wait for that day.
No problems, guys. Thanks a lot for having me here.
It's our pleasure, mate. Good luck on the weekend. The game is against FV Emerging at Keilor Park, Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff, and that one's live streamed on mpl.tv as well if you can't make it in person. That's all we've got tonight on The Green Room. Thank you, Lockie. We'll be back at the same time next week. Enjoy the weekend's football. All 3 sides in action yet again, and we'll do it all again next week. This has been The Green Room on FNR, presented by Simonds Homes, the great Australian builder. Have a fantastic week, and we'll speak to you again soon.
Western United, can they find something here? Big chance, Barissa! He's done it again! And it's a goal! Unbelievable! What about this? Dylan Farias, his first touch of the game. Sanchez! Western United do claim the 3 points. And Diamante again! Oh, he's done it! Twice! He's chipped a keeper!
Presented by Simonds. It's The Green Room on FNR, Football Nation Radio.